I have a really cool guest that we're bringing on very shortly in about 1 minute. His name is Soy King. And I don't know if you ever heard about Soy Bomb. Have you ever heard about Soy Bomb? Soy Bomb is something that happened at I want to say the Video Music Awards with Bob Dylan. Does anyone remember Soy Bomb? He was a sensation for just a hot second. And if you don't remember, we've talked about Bob Dylan today. Now we talked about the Beatles, we talked about Elvis. So this is Bob Dylan, a guy who probably should be vegan because I don't know. Couldn't we get a couple more years of Bob Dylan? When Bob Dylan dies, I'm gonna be bummed, dude. Like I kind of want one more good album out of Bob Dylan, don't you? I do. I think that'd be so great. Just one more, Bob. Just one more. So Bob Dylan, he did this thing where he this happened. This happened right here. Soy Bomb. That's him. I know he kind of looks like that guy from what was that stupid show that everybody likes? The Triple Rock or the Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang. He looks like the guy from the Big Bang Theory. I think his name is Sheldon. I wasn't a big fan of that show because I think it makes fun of nerds. But I think that this guy looks a lot like Sheldon. And so he's soy bomb. And so I saw Soy King, and I think it's interesting because Soy King could, if he's Spanish, that could be like a Spanglish way to say I'm the king or the king of soy, or it's kind of like I'm the bomb, like the bomb, right? But it could be a bomb of soy, like a bomb that we need to drop to make the world vegan. Think about it. I'm sure Soy Bomb did. Sheldon, yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, exactly. You got me. You know who I'm talking about. That guy, the Zynga guy, the Bazinga guy. Sheldon Cooper. You know his last name. Great. I didn't realize that he had a last name. I'm sure that makes sense. Perfectly makes sense. I know that Mayim Bialik was on that show, and she's vegan. She's a pretty cool lady, right? She's like the host of that show where they ask the questions instead of giving answers. Bob Dylan is my top 5. Rumor is we are getting a new album this spring, actually. That's what the kids are saying on the internet forums, are they? Yeah, all the kids love Bob Dylan. They all know who he is and understand that his influence on music is non-pareil and will never end. Yeah, it's unquestionable. I've always been a Bob Dylan fan, even the weird Christian stuff. I love that shit. Like God gave names to all the animals. That stuff's good. Like it's so weird. Bob Dylan singing all that Christian stuff is so weird, but it's so good. Also, like if you play guitar or the ukulele like I do, well, I'm learning the ukulele, but I play guitar. And when you play guitar, you are gonna learn some Dylan songs. That's just how the world works. If you pick up a guitar and somehow manage to not learn it, I remember when I was a kid, one of the first songs I ever learned was a Guns N' Roses song called "Knocking on Heaven's Door," which at the time I had no idea that was a Bob Dylan song. I was just a dumb kid thinking that what's his name? The Axel and Slash. I call them Ash. I just call them the same person. I call Axel and Slash, I just call them Ash because the band doesn't exist if one or the other isn't there. You know what I'm saying? So Ash sings that song by Bob Dylan, Knocking on Heaven's Door. I'm just a kid. I'm just a dumb kid. I'm thinking this is the best goddamn song I ever heard. Wanted to learn it on guitar. It's one of the first songs. I think it might be the first song I ever learned on guitar. Yeah, it's so good, says Spooky Veghead. Yeah. Okay. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining. We finally do have our amazing guest. His name is Soy King, and I'm just going to bring him on. What do you say? I'll let him introduce himself. Let's do it. Soy King!
Hey, thank you for having
Welcome.
me.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate you so much for being here. Did you had you heard of Soy Bomb? Just out of curiosity,
No, I've never heard of Soy Bomb.
you just learned about Soy Bomb right now.
Did yeah, you just educated me.
That's amazing. Yes.
Actually, for me, the inspiration for Soy King, I know for some people, if I'm a total stranger, you never heard of me, you might think, oh, Soy King, like who's this guy, naming himself king, right? But the inspiration for Soy King actually came from my activism and how many times people like me get called soy boy. And it's
Oh,
so silly.
it is silly.
And so I just changed boy to king because, in my opinion, if you're willing to put your morals and ethics on the very top of your priorities, that is the true noble behavior. And so
Yeah.
so for me, that's where the inspiration come from. But when I actually started hashtagging Soy King and seeing it on social media, I did realize I was like, oh, soy means I am. So
Mhm.
to Spanish people, I'm like, I am king. I'm like, oh, that's not how I meant it, but you know,
Well, I think you have to be like, you definitely think about it if you're a Spanish speaker. Where are you from?
I'm born and raised in California. Now I
So
live
you
on the East Coast.
Oh, what part of California?
I was born in San Luis Obispo and
Oh,
grew up there.
slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been to San Luis Obispo. They got a Cal Poly over there that everyone
Yeah.
talks about all the time. They got a wonderful school there. It's like the Cal Polytechnical Institute, or I forget what it's
Yep.
actually.
That's exactly what it's called. Yeah, it's pretty well known.
Yeah, it's for architecture and stuff. Cool. I didn't know you were a California boy. Then you probably caught on to the Spanish thing a little early because I'm from California and like everything to me is like sometimes I'll mix Spanish up with almost everything just because like half the streets where I live in California are Spanish. Like I'm the town that I live in. I'm not from there. I'm from Los Angeles, but like, but I live in a town called Aliso Viejo, and or Aliso Viejo,
Mhm.
and which means like an old plant, like an old Aliso is a type of plant. It's like an old, I don't know, cactus plant or something. If you're surrounded by Spanish all the time, I think that you might get soy king. I am king, but that's okay. That's a affirmation too. You know what I mean? And you're
Yeah.
doing some cool things about like I think dudes need content like yours. And I also love that thing where guys will be like, yeah, you go king. Because ladies got that shit. They're always calling each other goddesses and shit every time they put every time they put a piece of content. Yeah, goddess, you queen.
It's good.
Guys don't
Good
get
stuff.
that, you know?
And I'm all about the empowerment. We as consumers, as regular people, we need to value ourselves more and appreciate ourselves more. I think all goodness flows forth from the originating point of actual self-love.
Totally. I'm with it. So Soy King maybe was, a happy accident because of that I am king thing.